Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Bald Avenger Show. I'm Jason Cisneros, also known as the Bald Avenger, the purveyor of all things common sense, the tattooed guru, the king of the Misfit Nation, and a legend, baby, in my own mind. Yes, Emily, yes, you should be introducing me because ever since then, everybody's like, she introduces you better than you introduce yourself. So, but that's it. We're off and running. And I want to talk about two things, a little off subject, because everybody got a little bit of an update today on my direction on the shifting of gears. I'll update those of you that are here tonight that didn't get a chance to catch it. I have to, that would be fun. Like, I would start messing up. John Duffy just said that I should drink, I should drink every single time I make a mistake. So I got to drink at least once. So, so anyway, but I talked a little bit about the phases. I'm just going to kind of catch you guys up to date. And then I want to talk a little bit about what's this faith and this reticular activating system, the RAS, as I put it in the title. And then we're just gonna go about our day. We're gonna go about our life. We're gonna get rolling. So those of you that know, when this thing first popped, we just did an event called Unstoppable, and I quite often say, because there's nobody that can prove me wrong and say that it's any different, but we had the best seminar, motivational seminar on the face of the planet before the apocalypse. Okay, we were the last one, and everybody that was there, it's interesting to watch because I've been paying really close attention. Everybody in their own way. There's some of the people that were there, you know, either in the audience or as speakers that I've kept an eye on, and I'm like, I wouldn't go that direction, but look, we're all humans, right? We all choose to take a certain path. But what Unstoppable did was it steeled people. Like, those of you that were there, say something. Like, just say something that you were there, that you've had a great time, that you were glad that it was the last thing that you did before the apocalypse, you know, those kind of things, because I've heard it on and on and on. And yes, there's news on the next Unstoppable. We're just waiting. Like, we know which hotel, we know which city, we know how many seats, we know everything. We know everything. And we're just waiting for the hotels to be able to say it's okay. Okay, it's coming. It's coming. So anyway, so we went from Unstoppable, which was this thing that just filled people up and filled them full of power, and we prepared them to go back to a world that wasn't ready for them, right? And that they'd go back into, because think about this. Anybody that's listening to this now or on the replay, think about every time you've made a change in your life and then you go back to your normal environment. What is it like? People are like, oh, I know how you are. This is a temporary high. You went to one of those motivational seminars. You went to church. You went to whatever it is. I know you're going to come back to the person that I knew and the person that I know. I know it's going to happen. I know that you're going to be right back to making bad decisions, that you're going to be right back at the same bar that you were sitting at. You're going to be right back to the same loser that you were dating. You're going to, all that stuff, right? Because most of us, when we go back to our environment, that's why Misfit Nation is digital, it's worldwide. That's why we have our own page, why we have our own family. It's because when one of us is feeling down or under pressure, there's like 150,000 other of you to come and lift them up, right? It's like this, it's this amazing infrastructure of loving, giving, inspirational fuck-ups, right? I have to throw that in there because that's what we are. I will never try to say that I am anything but a fuck-up in life, because I have been, and I've made bad decisions, and so have you. And if you're out there and you're trying to hide them, I'm dealing with this all day long, every single day, while my phone is in my voice. Like it's tough for me to actually keep my voice because I'm on this thing from the time I wake up until the time I go to bed, as people are poor, people that I love, people that I care about. I'm not, I in no way, shape, or form am I upset about this. That I was prepared for this moment. I went through a lot of what everybody is collectively going through, just like you did. I went through a lot of that stress and a lot of that pain and a lot of these different challenges in life. Right now, it just happens to be a virus. Right now, it just happens to be a worldwide phenomenon. But everybody that I know that's watching, every name that I see up here that's commenting, has gone through something rough in your life, right? You've gone through something rough in your life. The difference was that everybody else wasn't going through it at the same exact time, and very few people gave a shit. If anybody, right? If anybody gave a shit when you were going through your worst nightmare, when you were going through, like Danny T, I see him on here, right? When he was going through, his cancer deal, and I could just, I could go on and on and on and on. January Riggin, who runs Soap to Hope, right? When she was going through her scenarios where she lost her daughter, where she was in addiction, when, yeah, just on and on. Like I don't want to spend all night doing it, but what I do want to recognize is that the fact that everybody that's watching me or following me, because it's impossible for you to follow me and be mediocre or be lukewarm in whether you like what I say or who I am or what I do. You either love me or you hate me. And I'm okay. Again, I've said this multiple times. I'm okay which side you pick, because I'm not lukewarm. I am not lukewarm in anything, in my views and how I view things. And that is why Misfit Nation has come together around each other, is because we're also not judgy. Like, we're not judgy. We're not judgy people. We're not judgy people. We're not the type of people like Danny T just said, like he faced death. We've all faced death. I've been stabbed in the chest. I've been shot in the leg. I've been I had the shit beat out of me, my entire childhood by a man that called himself my father, that I didn't realize wasn't my dad till I was 17 when he went to prison for attempted murder of me and my mom. Okay. There's story after story after story after story. Kevin Russell is in the house, right? And this concept or this idea that everybody's facing right now, that I think it's 17 million people have lost their jobs in this country. Like 17 million people that had a job and a plan and a resource to be able to pay their rent, feed their kids, do all this kind of stuff. 17 million people now don't have that. Right. And we've got some deaths that have been occurring. We've got this thing that we don't know about, the numbers that have been consistently wrong. And that's not what this show is about. I shifted gears today into a gear called massive action. And that's really why I wanted to start out this next phase of what we're doing. For those of you who don't know, we started out, in the first week or so, I literally was just kind of putting out a comforting message. Everything's going to be okay, right? When there's an accident, the bus is tumbling or the plane is crashing and it's rolling, there's not much you can do about it except for start to prepare your mind for when it comes to rest. And most people don't do that. They have something that is called normalcy bias, right? When you get into a car accident, when you get into a bus accident, when you're in any kind of accident whatsoever, what starts happening is your brain starts telling you, this isn't happening, this isn't happening, this isn't happening. And a lot of accidents, a lot of crises could be survived if your brain was trained to say, okay, something is happening, right? There is something that's out of the ordinary. And I'm going to be prepared for when this thing comes to a stop. Because when it does come to a stop, now you have fire, you have smoke, you have all these other scenarios that come into place. And if you're sitting there going, this isn't happening, this isn't happening, this isn't happening, you're going to be overwhelmed by the smoke, you're going to be overwhelmed by the fire, and you will die in that seat. And it's been shown over and over and over again. just read the books, The Survivors Club. It's a really, really great book. And so a lot of us were in a place where this thing was tumbling, and all I was doing was saying, just wait, it's going to be okay. The thing's going to come to a rest. It's going to be all right. Whatever this is there's going to be another side to it, because I have faith that there's going to be another side, because throughout history, there's always the other side of a crisis. There's always the other side of a deal, or you're dead. Okay. And dead people don't care anymore, right? The only people that care are us that are left here, that have lost a loved one, that have lost somebody that breaks our heart, that they're out of our life. The dead don't care anymore. They don't care. And so we're tumbling. I'm like, on the other side of this, we're going to find a landing. And I started getting attacked even in that phase, right? Where I wasn't taking it seriously, where, I was supposed, like, it turned into a fucking totalitarian regime seemingly overnight, where everybody was like, here's my rights, please protect me. And the people that are supposed to be protecting us, they don't know shit either. Their numbers have been consistently wrong, and don't come the biggest defense right now is, well, it's because we all sheltered in place. Bullshit. It helped, it helped for sure, but there's so much other stuff. And my message today was, we could spend our time digging in, wanting to punish China, right? Wanting to punish. I was on a call with John Huntsman today. Those of you that don't know John Huntsman, he's was our former governor. He's been an emissary, or what's the word I'm looking for? Ambassador to China and to Russia, and he's running again here in Utah for governor again. And I hope he wins. He's a brilliant man. But one of the things that he was saying was that China is going to pay its own price. You already saw Japan, after I said that today, Japan has decided to figure out a way to get all of their manufacturing, all their distribution out of China, because it's obvious you can't trust them, right? And this is what's been happening. One of the biggest things about faith and your reticular activating system is that if you're going to have faith, then what do you trust in? And if you're asking people to have faith in you, what are you asking them to have faith in you about? And are you trustworthy? Are you consistent? Are you somebody that can stare down a wave of dissent about what you know to be true, what you believe, in your heart, and people that you love the most in this life are attacking you because you don't believe the way that they do, because you're not picking up the company line, because because you just dare. And that's what I love about Misfit Nation, is that you guys continually dare to question. You question me all the fucking time, and I love it. You question the world view. You question your own scenario. You question how you were raised. You question how your parents brought you into this world. You question what your friends are believing. You put yourself on a plane and you fly to Florida to come and get around a whole bunch of other people, that widely diverse human beings, because you trust in yourself and you're willing to go against the flow. And if you have intellect, you've done some studying, because look, there's a lot of people that have faith because they listen to Rachel Maddow. There's a lot of people that have faith because they listen to Sean Hannity. And I can tell you that both are right on stuff, and both are wildly partisan and completely oblivious to truth and facts on other things. Okay? So what you have to do is you have to figure out, what is your own backbone? How do you build faith that is incontrovertible, that is non-negotiable in a time like just happened, right? I said today, because I lost my temper a few times. I have probably permanently damaged a couple of relationships in my life that I didn't have any, I didn't mean to, I didn't want to, but to remain true to myself, to remain true to my message, I had to battle out the idea. I was never attacking the person. Matter of fact, the few people that I've had this issue with, I still love them dearly and I would take a bullet for them. Okay. But it seems like that is not the same commitment on the other side. And I'm okay with that. It is what it is. Like, that's life, right? That's life. But when you put faith in action, and that faith there's a combination of things. For me, it's God and my experience and the people that I've done, the people that I've done business with, the people that I respect, and I'm constantly pulling new information. You guys saw my opinion and my message kind of evolve over the time. It never stopped. I never stopped talking. But at the end of the day, I evolved because I was taking in more information. I was listening to people that I trusted. But the core, the center of what I believed, because of truth and seeking data and what I still believe is going to happen moving on in the future, I stayed true to that. You guys saw it. You've seen it online. I mean, I had people giving me death threats and death wishes and death hopes. And I hope you get sick, and I hope your kids get sick, and I hope you get this and all this other kind of shit. And I've seen it from anybody that dared stand up and say, this is not nothing, but don't be afraid. And now let's start asking questions. Are these numbers really right? Right? Was the original estimate, it's easy with hindsight, right? The issue is that history, everybody says hindsight is 2020. You've heard that. How many of you have heard that out there? Hindsight is 2020. Hindsight is 2020. Which means that you're excusing yourself to say, you know what? I'm going to learn something from this. I'm going to learn something from this, and I'll be able to look back on it and I'll be able to laugh. No. There are history books that line out exactly like we say, oh, there's never been anything like this in history before. Bullshit. The bullshit. There's been nuclear wars. There's been World War I. There's been World War II. There's been pandemics. There's been the Spanish flu. There was 2008, 2009, the crash of the economy. There is evidence everywhere. Evidence everywhere. But people are too lazy and too ignorant, not stupid, ignorant, to go back and look at history and go, what was the founding members of this country? What were they trying to do? Right? They were setting up a more perfect union for us to actually experience freedom. And then they set that document up, and we spend 200 plus years trying to get rid of those things as we fully elect an elite governing body who think that they're smarter than us and have more control over us to start to separate, right? To start to separate. That's not how it is. It's supposed to be that they are serving at the pleasure of an informed electorate, right? An informed electorate. The problem is we're not informed, we're distracted. I'm a Democrat. Oh, bad Trump. I'm a Republican. Socialism. Blah, 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 blah. That is ignorance, because you've been bought off by whoever it is, MSNBC or Fox News. I don't care who it is. You have bought into somebody else's horse shit. And not everybody. I mean, the overwhelming majority of Misfit Nation are people that are free-thinking human beings, which means that we're going to get our asses beat constantly by the sheep, right? You have to stay at home and protect everybody and blah, blah, blah. Like, of course we do. But for $2.2 trillion, we could have rounded up all of our old elderly loved ones and all of the immune deficient and put them on these cruise ships and sent them on a 4 to 5 week cruise around the Bahamas and around, in any ocean. It didn't really matter. And let them drink, let them party, let them have sex, elderly sex, whatever it was that they wanted to do. while the rest of us got it and got herd immunity and then brought them back. We could have done that for a lot less than $2.2 trillion, and it's getting bigger. They just did another 2.3 trillion that they're going to be. That's 7 trillion or whatever we're at right now. I'm a statistician and somebody who follows data and numbers, and I'm having a hard time keeping up with it. It's changing every single day. So where does all this wild sort of thought process lead us? The idea is that, just like I said about midway through, when I decided that I went into comfort mode to make sure that everybody understood that everybody's going to be fine. You know, I was sending out dough and support and, you know, wherever I possibly could. And then the middle of that, what happened was you started to see this totalitarianism starting to form, that literally, like you see even into the newspapers today, that a doctor saw a couple of girls playing in a park and he attacked them because they and hit them, like physically abused them because they didn't have masks on. That is totalitarian. Read a book. Okay? Go back and look at any of them. Hitler, Mussolini, Stalin, Mao, read a book, y'all. And what they want is they want neighbor telling on neighbor. And they want a doctor, a full-grown man, to beat up on underage little girls. Lucky it wasn't my girl. Lucky it wasn't here. Lucky it wasn't a lot of Misfit Nations daughters. Because he would have wished he got C-19 to get away from my ass. I can promise you that. You don't touch little girls. So anyway, we won't go off on that track. So anyway, so why do we talk about all this? It's because we went from that phase, supporting people, lifting them up, to the middle phase where I got into a little bit of righteous rage, or, you know, I wrote it down again today. Oh, you know what? I took a note so I wouldn't forget it, because Anya, I owe this to Anya. I'm getting it tattooed on my body. Where is it? I got to make sure that I say it the right way, because it's her. She's the one that said it to me. I thought it would be right on top, but maybe not. Just hang in there. You guys don't have anything else to do anyway, right? Nope. I guess I didn't save it. Anyway, is what it is. So don't be hating on my John Duffy. Actually was in the Maoist regime. Like, he knew. So here's the shift. I went into that and I started battling against people because I saw us, a generation. Okay. Here's my big issue, right? Is that we have a generation pretty much that has had very little challenge in front of them. Very little. I mean, it's been very, very little. And all of a sudden they forget about our grandparents. They forget about our great grandparents, the ones that made the trips over on the ocean. They risked their lives to get over here for a little bit of freedom, for a little bit of opportunity, for them to be able to change their stars. Think about that for just a second. Everybody listening to this now or in the future, that you had somebody in your life that dared come across a border, that dared leave their life, that dared come across whichever direction in the ocean, because there was this shining place on earth that said, if you go there, you're going to have the freedom to pursue happiness, not the guarantee. You're going to have the freedom to pursue happiness, and you're going to be able to be rewarded based on your efforts, based on your educating yourself, based on your risk, based on you trading in your time and your effort. And then we had slavery in this country, and we overcame that. And now we have a whole, like, to make it equal amongst all men. and we've got a country that doesn't get it right in the beginning, but it always gets it right eventually. And so we're on that path, and we sit back, and I watch 300 million people, not 300 million, 300 million people minus whoever's in the misfit nation, right? That sits back and they go, because they didn't have to fight, because they didn't have to take a bullet, because they didn't have to storm a beach in Normandy, because they didn't have to be, they weren't bombed in Pearl Harbor, because they didn't have to face death on foreign shores, totally alone, as they died from bullet wounds, protecting this freedom that we have. We had 300 million people in this country just collectively go, here you go. Here's everything you fucking fought for. You can have it back. Just promise me that I may not get this thing, right? Just protect me that I may not get this thing. It is one of the seriously most embarrassing, cowardly moments I think that this country has ever seen. And it happened because people of influence and in power decided to utilize the fear to control us. Think about this. The underlying message of everything you're going to see from this point going forward was, we needed to scare you because you're too stupid to understand how to protect other people. That is elitist, and that is totalitarianism. And yes, I understand that there's people that are uneducated. I understand that there's people that are like, let's go all have sex on the beach because we're young, and we're not going to get it, or we're not going to die from it. So screw everybody. And then I'll go hug my grandma. I understand that there's that kind of stupidity out there. But for you to use for you to excuse totalitarianism strategies and techniques against the freest country, the shining light on the hill for so many places that protect against evil, that go out and we give our money as Americans to places and to things that the world would rather ignore. And so many people that would be at the end of a suffering ring that every once in a while, like, whether it's in Africa, I've been all around the world, y'all. Travel has been amazing. I've been in the Middle East. I've been in the Far East. I've been all over the place. And wherever you go, if shit starts to go a little bit too far out of control, boom, America steps in, and it protects those people that need protected. Yes, we fuck up. Yes, we're greedy. Yes, we oil. Yes, all of the stuff that you're going to say. Yes. But at its core, it's made up of men and women that are committed to an ideal that is bigger than they are. And that's faith. That you live in this country, and more people come here from around the world. They live. I can't blame people trying to come across our borders, because if I was living in Guatemala and I had 2 or 3 little girls, I know what's going on down there. We did a fundraiser. We've been active down in Guatemala for what happens to these little girls that get raped by political officials. We know what happens. And I can't tell you that if I was Guatemalan and I was born in that country, that I wouldn't do whatever it took to get my daughters across this border where there was some opportunity. I can't blame them. But to sit back and watch a vast majority of people that I was like, man, I can't wait to see who's going to step up and lead. I was shocked that the people that disappeared completely, like, whoop, they're gone. They're poof, like a fucking smoke, like an apparition in the night, gone. And then the ones that did step into leadership stepped in going, oh, here's an opportunity for me to get more views and get more likes and get more shares, and for me to build my platform. And I'm going to pour my money into advertising and making sure that I'm doing the Facebook ads, and make sure that I'm doing the YouTube ads, and I'm making sure I'm doing that. Well, I'm thinking to myself, I never expected that from some people. I never expected it, because that money, rather than promoting yourself, step into the environment, into the group of people that know you, and serve the shit out of them, and take that extra money that you may have and be sending it to certain ministries, be sending it to A New Dawn, be sending it to Chemo Buddies for Life, be sending it to Feed a Billion. Like, if you have extra, right? Now people that have built and pivoted, for instance, in this time of crisis, they pivoted to be able to sell and serve into a gap that was needed. Thank God. Like, congratulations. We need more people. We need more good people to have more money, more time, so that they can do more good, period, end of sentence. Okay. And almost every one of our clients at Anton J has pivoted, has figured out what the lead is. Like, last night was one of them. You guys saw Tetra Growth Systems that was on, that pivoted to become the front line, the first responders for businesses to get them the cash. You've seen it over and over and over again. But to pivot and go, okay, everybody's afraid, let me leverage that. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's gross. And it just, like, every time I saw it, I just wanted to go take a shower. And it just, anyway. I'm sounding a little bit like a judgy bitch tonight, and I want to apologize for that. That's not it. I just, when you get disappointed, it's always a thing. And I'm sure 100%, like 99% of the time, that there's people that are disappointed by me. So again, it's about extending grace. I've been extending grace my entire life, but it's about making sure that you see these scenarios, because if you see the scenario you just lived through, you go, okay, here's what happened. Here's how I reacted. How could I have reacted better? What can I do now? What do I have the control to do now? Right. And at the end of the day, what are you going to do to prepare for when it's a big thing next time? Again, this was a big thing. I'm not going to say it's not a big thing. It's going to have a major impact on our economy, but this wasn't like the big one. Okay. And at the end of the day, what are you going to do to prepare yourself for next time? You should be, whatever level of lifestyle that you paired yourself back to, you should pair yourself back to and stay there. You want to know what everybody's like, Warren Buffett this, Warren Buffett that, drives an old pickup truck, lives in a tiny little house, and has never, ever really gave a shit what you thought of him. And he's one of the richest people on the face of the planet. Okay. So don't care. I can tell you, when I cared, I spent 80% of my money trying to impress other people, to go, look at who Jason Cisneros is. Look at who Jason is. Like, look at the house that he's in. Look at the car that he drives. Look at the vacations. Look at the girls. Look at the boats. Look at what a douchebag I was. Now I don't give a shit, because I, in a time like this, can write checks to people who need it. And I can show up with calm and lead, because I'm not afraid, and instill in other people. This is where we need you, y'all. As we come back, we need you to be steadfast. We need you to be steady. We need you to not have fear. In all of the CDC recommendations, in all of everything that you've seen in your local, all of the stuff, you being scared was not a requirement. People that use fear to manipulate you or draw your attention are doing it for personal gain. Every single time. Beware. So let's end this on an up note, because I went a little ranty there. A little ranty. Faith, okay? If all you did was shift your mind and you go back and you look at all the stuff that you've come through, you would develop a really strong faith in the fact that somebody's looking over you, right? Something bigger than you wants you to survive. There's something inside of you that beats in that heart of yours that you know that you are the one individual on the face of the planet that is capable of doing it. Nobody else. It's you. And in that sense, God has, and He will equally resource you to the level of your commitment to the purpose that you've been put here on the earth to do. And I don't care what you say. I don't care where you are. I don't care who you are. Your life's mission includes using your pain for easing suffering in others. It's a very simple equation. And any time in there that you're doing prostitution, where I'm going to do this for a little bit of that, and I'm not talking about giving a service like cleaning toilets or whatever it is to get money for that. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about serving and easing suffering, and then expecting for you to get likes or views or shares or whatever it is. I could give a fuck. You know what? I mean, I've gotten every kind of strategy from every possible guru. I've got money that I could write out $100,000 today. I would have another 100,000 viewers tomorrow. I could have 1 million or 5 million or 12 million views on Facebook or on YouTube. I've got the money to do it, and I could. And the end of the day is, if 12 million people watch my videos, it's going to be because those motherfuckers sought me out to find me. It's not going to be because they saw an ad for Jason Cisneros. I'm happy. If there's 5 of you motherfuckers out there that want to change the world and you're the only ones left watching this, then we got a better chance than having 1 million fake motherfuckers that I went out and purchased their attention. Not going to happen. So faith, okay? You've been formed to do something unique that I can't do, that nobody around you, right? That nobody around you can do. And most of your struggles and your challenges in life have been from you rejecting the idea that you know you're supposed to do. It's been, I can't do that. I don't want to do that. It upsets my peace. What just happened? Here's the thing. Your peace, no matter who you are on the face of the planet, your peace and your plans were just interrupted. Right? I've heard it said 1 million times in 1 million different ways that all you want, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans, right? And there's, everybody was like, had their plans and they had their intentions and they had this and they had that. And all of a sudden one day, there's this little C-19 virus that decided it was going to go tap, tap, tap. Ha ha ha. Whatever plans you had, ha ha ha. It's over. You're going to have to do something different. You're going to have to think a different way. And so if you know that what your end goal is, it's that calling, right? Where we're like, I don't want to be inconvenienced because, I might have to get a smaller house. I might have to get a different boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. I might have to change my friends. I might have to inconvenience myself in some way, shape, or form of the other for me to chase this. This was one of the greatest siren calls that God could ever give us, or the universe, or whatever it is you believe. Let's not get caught up in semantics, okay? Whatever it is that you want to believe. But at the end of the day, wait, look at this. This thing just interrupted you. Why not now take that thing that has been germinating in your heart that only you can do and pull it out and start feeding it? Because there's no better time for you to execute in faith on something that I can't tell you. I can't, no speaker from stage that was screaming at you, you got to buy my program or else you're a loser. Cash is trash. Right? I can promise you right now that cash was not trash during this period of time. Cash is king. All right. And leveraging yourself and not having control of your destiny and not being able to take care of yourself is never a good idea, ever. Okay. And so at the end of the day, you've been upset, right? Your plans have been upset. The whole entire world has been upset. So what is it inside of you that has been germinating there that you need to act in faith on. Reticular activating system, look it up. Reticular activating system, your RAS, trains and tells your mind what to seek. And if you want to seek out conspiracies, then go for it. What is it ever going to give you, right? If you want to seek out things that will scare the shit out of people, what value are you to this planet? Nothing. You're destroying immune systems and people's ability to think when they need to be able to think for themselves to be able to protect them and their families. And you're out scaring the shit out of them. You should be ashamed of yourself. Each and every one of you that played on people's fears should be ashamed of yourself. Because you drove down people's immune systems and you fear clouds clarity. And all you did was take out and push clouds in front of their eyes because you wanted their fucking attention more than you wanted their success. You're disgusting. So I hope you enjoyed your little 5 minutes in the fucking sunlight or whatever the hell that spotlight is. I hope you enjoyed it. Because you need to be asking forgiveness for the rest of your fucking life for the damage you did to people. So here we go. Never, ever, ever, ever live in fear. Don't let anybody scare you. Nobody's smarter than you. Some people have more wisdom than you. They have the bits of information that you need from them to be able to piece together your idea, but never lean on anyone, including me. Never lean on one human being for all of your input. Seek it from other people. Have faith that you will be guided to the greatest information to protect you and your family at the highest level, because that's how the universe works. That's how God works. He's going to protect you if you're acting in the right way. If you're doing it with the right heart, if you're going to say, and he'll do it even if you have the wrong heart. I know that because I've been protected my entire life when I have been a giant piece of shit. Right? And when I have made horrible decisions that were 100% about me. So faith and understanding that what you think about, your physiology, your focus, your language, multiplied by your emotion and intensity and repetition over time, that's your reality. And you get to form it. You get to make it up. You get to say, like, this is a whole new environment, y'all. I don't know if the economy is going to go like boom, boom. I don't know if it's going to go boom over time. I don't know if it's going to keep going down for a bit. Matter of fact, I don't really give a shit. Because at the end of the day, if let's say that it's 99% unemployment, you know whose ass is going to have a job? Boop. How about you? How about you? If you want to be afraid of 30% unemployment, then be my guest. But I'm not going to be participating. I'm going to be figuring out, what do I got to do? Do I got to learn to code? Do I got to learn to what? Like, again, I'm speaking metaphorically when it comes to me, because I don't have to do this shit. I could be on some foreign fucking beach somewhere going, fuck everybody. Like, I don't care. I don't need to. But because I cannot look myself in the mirror unless I'm acting on the same thing, I'm eating this disgusting dog food. It's disgusting right now for me to be eating my own dog food, about taking my own fucking advice, about being in this fight when I don't fucking need to. I don't have to be here. I've not sold one fucking thing during this entire process because I don't need your money. What I need is your health. What I need is you guys being in the game mentally. What I need is you guys to be ready to be able to rebuild this economy, because with a destroyed economy, you will see destroyed lives like you can. Oh, it's math. Go back and look at 2008, 2009. How many cancer deaths because the spike in how people stopped taking care of themselves. Right now, today, there's 55% spike in people drinking, right? A 55% increase in alcoholism. There's women that are locked in with their abusers right now that have been killed in their home because of domestic violence. There's suicides that are on the upswing that were already too many to be had. So if you want to mope around and go, poor me during this whole fucking thing, and you want to play scared, then get the fuck out of the Misfit Nation, because you don't belong here. It's time to fight. And right now, as we start to open things back up, it's time for you to stand up and for you to get the information that you need, that this wasn't nothing, but it also wasn't what everybody was making it out to be. And was it worth? Because I think to myself, because I've seen it, I've been there. Those of you that have been, that are out there, that I've been there at the place where I lost my job. And I was married and I had a little girl. And I lost my job. And I was scared to death. But you know what I did? I went and got another job. Right now, you can't even go get another job. Can you imagine that devastation and that sort of horror and that fear that you were counting on being able to pay your rent because you had a job that was going to pay you next Friday, and now you can't pay your rent. You don't know where you're going to get your food from. You're a single woman that's got 2 little babies that you got to feed. So don't talk to me about the impact or the whatever it is and not caring about other people, right? When you respond to people that are like, oh, you don't care about elderly if you're questioning these numbers, which have consistently motherfucking been wrong. 2 million to 60,000 because we were socially distancing. Kiss my ass, okay? Kiss my ass. Now, 12 million, 17 million people that don't have a job, that shit's real. That shit's real. And we got to deal with it, y'all. That's the call to action tonight, is we have to, those of you that are business owners, those of you that are employees, those of you that have business ideas, those of you there, look, let me end this on a really up note. Okay. I went in, friends with several people at the higher levels of Wells Fargo. And one of them called me up and they said, Jason, can you come in today? I have a question for you. And so I did. I went in. They have screens in front of them and the 6 foot distancing and all this other kind of stuff, right? And at the end of the day, he asked me, he goes, Jason, we're being overrun. So first thing, like Wells Fargo, I'm just going to talk about them specifically because I know about after this conversation that Wells Fargo has had to cut a certain amount of their employees that can't work from home at all. And simultaneously, he said, we get 1 or 2, in this particular branch, right? We get 1 or 2 people a day maybe that are thinking about starting up a new job or a new business and so on and so forth. He goes, Jason, we're up to 10 a day in this location. And I can tell you that multiplies out across all the Wells Fargo branches. And I said, that is really great information. That is he goes, why are they doing, what's happening? I said that this country was built on the entrepreneurial spirit. And there's people that were working in a job for some fucking asshole that they didn't like, in a job that they didn't like. And they thought, you know what, if I'm going to step up and I'm going to step out and I'm going to start my own business, today's the day. I can tell you that if you're sitting on your ass, you're already in the rear of the pack. If you haven't decided to figure out a way to be in the stream, there are people, thousands a day going, I'm going to start my own company because I'm never going to be at the disposal of somebody else that can't pay me. I'm not going to give up my freedom. I'm not going to give up my autonomy. And for me to be in control of my own destiny and fail is by far more, in a way, a better way to die, a better way to go down than it is depending on the charity and the mood of somebody else. So step up, Misfit Nation. I said it today. We're going to be doing a little shift. It's time to get into Misfit Nation. Stop talking. Stop saying I'm emotional. Stop saying I'm gonna do something someday. That day is today, and that day is first thing in the morning, and that day is the day after that, and that day is for you to be in motion, solving problems and easing suffering, because you get paid here for easing suffering and closing a gap for people that live here, and you store up your treasures in heaven by easing suffering for people that can do nothing for you. The game is happening now. Get the fuck in it. I love y'all. Have an amazing night. Thank you for listening to my rants. Thank you for showing up night after night after night, sharing the show, spreading the word. There's more people coming in all the time right now. And like I said, they're either in for a minute and they go, this guy's a egotistical fucking asshole that doesn't believe in science and like the million things that everybody else says out there about me. I don't really care. Okay. The issue is that I speak what I believe serves my community, and Misfit Nation is my community. And I love you, and I'll see you again tomorrow night. Peace.